Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for Monday the 14th of August, 2017. We are keeping a watch on Tropical Storm Gert here between Bermuda and the southeast coast of the United States. Top winds are 60 miles per hour, and the air pressure kind of high for that wind speed, but maybe the background pressures are higher, and so the gradient is a little stronger, etc. Anyway, this is probably going to become a hurricane, and it is going to stay away from the U.S. mainland. It'll stay away from Bermuda, and it will stay away from the Canadian Maritimes. It's not going to be a problem for anybody directly. However, it will send out some swells in this direction over the next few days, and that will impact the Carolinas and Virginia starting as early as later today. And since this is forecast to become a hurricane, those swells will probably just get larger over time. This is the visible satellite animation of Gert this early afternoon, and you can see a pretty good outflow here, stretching all the way down several hundred miles. A little bit of northerly shear on it, but as that relaxes a little bit more, this will likely continue to tighten up and become a hurricane. This is a really neat NASA animation here, if this will smooth out with the flashing. There we go. So this is really, really cool. This is the new GOES 16 satellite product, so this is updating every 5 minutes, and you can see that it's really starting to become better organized, some deeper convection around here near the center of circulation, but it is being sheared just a little bit from the north, pushing the clouds a little bit more towards the south and west, rather than everything being symmetrical. It's not completely disorganized, obviously, but enough so that it is keeping it from becoming a hurricane very quickly. If we look at the microwave imagery, this shows us the structure of the system, and we can see, again, most of the energy here along the southwest side, center of circulation in here, but it's trying to develop some banding in the area where the shear is coming from. And once that happens, it'll begin to really close off, and this will become more circular, and it'll become a hurricane, the second one of the season, it does look like. The track forecast from the different models, again, a pretty tight envelope over the next 3 days especially, that this will stay comfortably away from any of the land masses, but don't discount the swells that this will generate and the increase along the beaches of wave action and the possibility of rip currents. That is a hazard, and it needs to be respected, so please do so. And the intensity forecasting, the H-Wharf model here, a little bit aggressive, I would say, but the general idea is that this becomes a Category 1 hurricane. It wouldn't surprise me if it gets up to 100 miles per hour, making it a Category 2. It's over warm water, and if the shear lets up enough, that won't surprise me at all. We've seen hurricanes in the general vicinity that this is headed to strengthen pretty quickly and pretty deep in their lifespans, so it wouldn't shock me if this does the same. The next area that we're going to be watching is way out in the eastern Atlantic here. It's sort of a combination of this larger area, but I think this is what we're going to focus on the most, and that's Invest Area 91L. In general, most of the modeling, well, just depending on what cycle you look at, develops this as it's on its way to the west with time. Could be an issue for portions of the Leeward Islands, but we'll have to see about that over the next few days, how far north it gets as it organizes and heads that way. It could be a threat, so you folks there are going to want to keep an eye on that. Hurricane Center giving it a 60% chance of development over the next 5 days. And water temperatures out this way, very warm. The upper ocean heat content definitely where it needs to be for something to develop, and we'll be watching that pretty close here as we get through mid-August towards the later part of the month. Climatologically speaking, things are supposed to uptick anyway, and the background state getting more and more favorable. And on top of that, a favorable Atlantic this year as a whole, warmer sea surface temperatures than normal, the lack of El Nino, etc., and these very strong tropical waves, looking like we could end August with quite a bit of activity. All right, so, we're going to be watching a lot over the coming week, that's for sure. That's it for me for today. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website, of course. And for Hurricane Pro and HD, I'll be in all week giving you video updates. And remember, you can follow along with a lot of these graphics, satellite pictures, etc. within your apps there, Hurricane Pro or HD. So be sure to take advantage of that. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.